What's going on, guys? VZ Duels here, back again with another little combo tutorial video here about a thing I've been just kind of cooking up on the side as I continue to look for a good way to build Fire King Tri-brigade. More so looking in that light at throwing in sinful spoils just to keep up with the meta in the game. But that being said, today we're going to be talking about Lyrilusc Tri-King and the insane synergy that this deck actually kind of has going for itself, because again, Tri-Beast or Tri-Beast and Tri-brigade just does everything. So we're just going to go right ahead into it. So the first thing is going to basically just be this card right here being like the essential part of everything, because this card is your free summon. That's one thing that's kind of needed, especially when playing through interruptions now, is free summons and extra special summons and stuff. So this card is something amazing for Tri-brigade in general, let alone because of course, as we see, Ponix is a level 1 bird as well. But anyways, so basically for any sort of combo you need turquoise, and you have numerous ways to getting to your other target, such cases being either bird call, the cobalt itself, the newly added swallow's cowrie, or even fractal. Any of these with this will give you the full combo. If you don't have this and have any other bird, or if you don't have this and have any other level 1 bird, so let's say that you had just these two, that's also full combo right there as well, because you just do this, send this for this, and that's good enough. So these cards have amazing synergy with one another, and I will go ahead and showcase pretty much just a line, because it's basically these ultimately is what you're doing. So let me go ahead and show you the line that I like to run with this. So as we know, special summon Warbler effect, we're gonna special summon Cobalt. Interesting thing I will insert right here is when you're using turquoise, say that you have a different target like Sapphire or something in hand, or let's go so far as to say that you actually ended up having 2 copies of turquoise. A good thing that you could do, if you really wanted to, is so long as you have a viable target for turquoise to be able to activate, and you have this in hand, you could always use this, activate its effect to special summon that legal target. Of course, we don't want to cheat our opponent. Then we can chain Cowrie. We can tribute this. We can then special summon out or add to the Cobalt to hand, and then by the time the Lyrilusc turquoise resolves, you're going to be special summoning this, and then that already gives you 1 Tri-beast in your graveyard, and then it'll set up your Cobalt to activate its effect. Just a little interesting tidbit that I figured I'd throw in there a little bit. But yeah, so then simply put, you want to do this, special summon, use effect. What I usually like to do in this case, just because we're in Droll format, with this you want to add the Nerval, because with this you can actually still play around a Droll, and I will show you that real quick here. So we add the Nerval, they drop the Droll. Alright, so then what do? The best thing that I personally recommend is to link these two off and go into IP Masquerena. Then, because you haven't used your normal summon, you just normal summon the Nerval, banish your 2 targets, go into your Bearbrum, and then just like that, off of 2 cards, you have a free Appaloosa with a search and a revolt as follow-up, or you could even go into a SP or whatever other targets you may have, but optimally you're going to want to do either SP or Appaloosa off of this kind of board. It just all depends on what you have in your hand in terms of counter traps and or not counter traps, but like hand traps, interruptions, things like that. But that's like the way to just kind of, oh, I got drolled, well, this is the best board I can make. That's why I would always advise making sure you have this in hand if you're getting this successfully. Say we don't get drolled though, and we are good to go with our combo. Alright, so we got this far. Cool, awesome. We overlay and go into... So this generally hasn't changed for anybody who's played Bird Up, Lyrilusc, Tri-brigade. You're going to summon this. You're going to activate its effect. You're not going to use its effects to gain because, God forbid, your opponent plays Ghost Ogre. That is really going to kill your plays. Use its effect. If you don't have one already, you're going to want to add your Sapphire Swallow. Because, again, we're dancing around with our special summons and everything. So we want to special summon as much as we can out before we actually use our normal summon. Reserve that normal summon for later, post nib and such. We're going to do Sapphire Swallow effect here because we control winds or Wing Beast. Use its effect to special summon it and Nerval. And from here, what I would recommend is to link these two off. Alright. Link those two off into fire-brigade. You could do the Nerval too, but you'll see why I would like to leave the Nerval in this case. And that is to do Banish 4. Because honestly, you're not really going to see those again. You're just using that as fodder, consistency, searching to basically start up your combos and everything, and then set yourself up for the follow-up. But aside from that, they're disposable for this kind of build. And of course, if you wanted to, you could bring back like Cobalt off of Revolt at the end of all this. So we're gonna special summon the Shureg. Then we link these two off. And then we go into Bearbrum. And then we go Chainlink 1 Omen, Chainlink 2 Nerval. Do that in that order always because you want to chain block with Ash and make it where the Nerval that has the restriction on it is going to get the search. Omen, you have 4 banished, you could pretty much add anything. So in this case, they both resolve. What would you want to add? At this point, I would recommend, for this build, add Arvada off of Omen. And you could add Fractal off of... actually, you could add Kit. It's either Kit or Fractal, either or. Probably better, though, for the Kit, because we're going to be trying to do some Ponix stuff. But actually, I already just did that wrong. So, we're not going to do Arvada off of Omen. We're going to do Ponix off of that. Because we have not been able to search Ponix. I'll get to that line after this one. So, in this case, we're going to do Ponix and Kits. So, we're going to use our fire-brigade, special summon Ponix, Ponix effect search. Search out your Sanctuary. Add your Sanctuary. Play your Sanctuary. Play your Fire King Island. You're going to do Fire King Island effect. You're going to pop this. You want to target in your graveyard for how you're going to follow this up. You're going to add your Garunix triggers again. You're going to send your Arvada to the graveyard. And then from here, you're going to Arvada effect, bring back this little guy. And then from here, you have plenty of materials to just keep going and just keep going. What I would recommend here, actually, because of what we have going for us right now, we could honestly just use these and go into an IP. Just because we have the free extenders and all that, we could do IP there. Alright. Now, of course, all of our zones are blocked, so then we could just link these off into an Appaloosa. And then we just do our chain link 1 Bearbrum, chain link 2 fire-brigade, just so that way we chain block and make sure that we get the revolt. Draw and put one back. We have the extra kit in hand. We never even had the normal summon it. You use this as return fodder if need be. Otherwise, just keep it in hand for follow-up, even though the revolt will grant you that. So that is one of the lines right there. The end board was kind of less than optimal to what it could be. So let's kind of rewind the play. We're gonna go back to where we went with, we have the, no, this was already engraved. We had this on field with, let me see if I can get it back. Okay, this and this. Okay, so we had all that. We added this. This is in hand. Do that, do that. If you have access to Promethean Princess, this is actually a very nice opportunity to do this part right here. Is you can actually set up Promethean Princess to where it'll be a viable card to trigger off. And how you do that, you link these off, go into, let me pull out Promethean from my other deck. I don't actually have this deck constructed, it's just concept, but still, just informative. So, Promethean Princess, right there. Use Promethean Princess effect, so special summon back the Ponyx, just so that way you have the body, because you will need it. Then you do Island here, and instead of popping the Ponyx, we're going to pop this. So that way we keep the body on the board. We have that in the Promethean Princess in graveyard. Add that. In this case, you honestly could, because you brought that back out, you could Garunix to special, and then you could use Garunix to just, like, pop. I mean, I guess you could do Arvada still, because then in the end, you're just basically going to use the Promethean to pop whatever, and then go out from there, but we're trying to be a little optimal for this stuff, because this is already an Appaloosa with Revolts, 3 mat Appo with that. So, ideally, yeah, you could do Arvada. That way you're all set up, and then the next time you special summon this, you just do Kieran, and then it's pop plus negate comes to board. What ideally, so this is the part where I say about adding, instead of kit, you do Fractal. So if you did Fractal here, before you started going off with the island, you could have used Fractal to pitch the kit, and then you could use kit to get an extra body in graveyard, but at this point it would be kind of absurd too. Because then at this point when you use this, then you pretty much, actually, let's go back a little bit. Okay, so this is on board, this is on board, or no, this is in graveyard because you use this material. We added off of the Nerval the Fractal, alright? Use the Fractal right here. Pitch that, pitch that. Use Promethean. This is the combo. Okay, so this is the combo. I'm sorry, the whole initial part was bad. Use that for this. then use your island, and then that'll get you your, everything's probably still engraved. You pop this, you go into your Lyrilusc add, pop Arvada specials kit. And just like that, you have a body that's going to leave field at the end of the turn, so make use of this for link material. You have this expendable body, and then you have fractal. So in this case, you could then do, this is the further play then, you could do it like this, where you use these two for the IP and then pass on that. Or you could leave this, go like this, or even go so far as to use effect, banish these two, just so that way your opponent doesn't called by this. Bring out DDL right over here. Now you have another removal. Link these 4 off into Appaloosa. And just like that, you now have Appaloosa with 3 negates. You're going to have your Bearbrim Search for Revolt. You're going to have a free bounce. Here is going to be your fire to use Promethean Princess. And then whatever hand traps that you have, as well as a set Revolt. And this is rarity number 3, since I have like 3 different decks using it. Sorry for the cough. A little sick these past couple days. But yeah, that's one of the lines that we can go with. So then we can go ahead and back it up a bit, and then go with the other line that I was going to talk about. It again starts with the same kind of package. Okay, so we are back to here. We do our turquoise special cobalt effect. Instead of adding Nerval, or say that we already have Nerval in hand, you could actually go and get your Ponyx here instead. Again, because of the fact that Droll exists in this format, I wouldn't recommend this line. Again, unless you already have the Nerval. But if you want to get a little ballsy, if you already have the Nerval, add this, and then you find out that they don't draw you. Cool. Link these off. Go into your recital effect, detach turquoise first always. Add Sapphire Swallow effect, special summon it, and Ponyx effect. You're going to add your Sanctuary, activate the Sanctuary. In turn, gives you the island. And then from here, you could just do the island. You could go Promethean Princess, special summon out with the Ponyx and yada yada yada, but we don't have the Fractal and Kit the way that we did the last time, so I wouldn't advise for that one. But this would be more so going through the Fire Kings to get your Tri-brigades. It's a little bit less optimal, but it shows you a bit of the line as to what it is that you can do right here. But yeah, so then you would just use effect, pop this, because you're going to be sending the Arvada, and then you're going to add the, if I can find it, Lyrilusc effect to pitch the, in this case, Kit. Then we're going to Kit effect, Nerval effect, Fractal, or Caress. Either one at this point will do just fine. So here is the benefit to this line in that retrospect then. You have not used a Tri-brigade monster to link summon at all. So you could just do this right here. Go into Promethean Princess effect. Special summon anything. And then you can link these off into either Ambler Whale, or more specifically, I would probably recommend, if you have the space, Sunlight Wolf. Just so that way you can make the use of what I'm going to do next, and that's going to be to finally normal summon the Fractal. And then we use the Fractals effect. We're going to banish, in this case, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, 4. And we are going to special summon our Omen. And then from here, could wait. But there is more potential. So you could add back the Ponix, but that adds itself back at the end of the turn anyway, so there's really no point in that, right? Take advantage of this moment, link those off, go into this. Use your Omen, Chainlink 1 to add. Use your Sunlight Wolf, Chainlink 2 to add back Fractal. Now you have follow-up. And you also have fodder to put cards back. Then we're going to go ahead and add something that was not the Fractal that we used for the effect. And that'll be something like Caress, Nerval, whatever. See, now in this case, it probably would be better to have a kit. I don't have a second copy in this for right now, but ideally now you would want to use like kit, because you do still kind of want to end on a, oh no, you have a fire, so then you're fine there. You have something for your Promethean, so at this point it really doesn't matter. You have the Fractal in hand, just add another Nerval. Why not? So then use fire-brigade, special summon that Nerval. Nerval effect, banish 2. Again, banish this because you don't want them to be stopping it for any reason. You can banish the Swallow. Usually the more recurring card is going to be Cobalt. You're going to go Bear Room. You have one free card. Link these all off. Actually, we see a problem here. We see a big problem here. We are not going to have a zone to use Revolt with. So, a bit of a problem, but you could just link these two off into an SP Little Knight instead. And then you'll have your Nerval. You'll have, you know, SP can save these two or these two, whichever you prefer. Get both your effects. These two. 1, 2. Draw, put one back. Add Revolt. Put back the fairy or Fractal. There you go. This board doesn't really give you negates though. Again, this is a little bit less than optimal, but the wolf would be good if you were to use like Kieran for a destroy or something, or if you already had Fractal in hand and you pitched it. So in that case, like a Lyrilusc turquoise with this would actually be very, very viable. So we'll back that up again. So you got these two. Alright, so we have turquoise and Fractal. So same deal. So we're going to use Fractal's effect. We're not going to send Nerval. We're going to send, instead, which stack is it in? I'm going to send this. You could, if you want to, run Wagtail and then search for Bird, call and like really extend, but not really necessary. This definitely can be cut, but it would be a nice option in the case that like you feel like you need another target other than Cobalt. It's just bird call is not really necessary given that we're running Swallow's Cowrie. I do also play another card that's kind of interesting and works much better with Cobalt, Wagtail, and Ponix. And it's an old version of that also consists of the name Swallows, and that's Swallow's Nest. Swallow's Nest tributes one off of your field and special summons one, like it says, same level. So it's basically Cowrie before Cowrie. It's just Cowrie is definitely better because you could tribute one from field or face up as opposed to only face up, and it adds to your hand, which it might not trip off effects, but it is pretty good regardless. You could use this in the draw phase. So honestly, this is kind of the better card right now. But this is good if you wanted to like play turquoise with this engrave. You chain this, get out the Ponix, and then that way when you resolve this, it like say that your opponent tries to imperm this, you chain this, tribute it, Ponix, Cobalt. Now you're getting two searches next to each other, and you can chain block if you want to. This is a little tech option, just for consideration. But, anyways, back to the combo. So we sent this, we are keeping this fire in graveyard for later. We special summon this, activate effect, special summon this, activate effect. And then, so then we're going to go with our Ponix line here because that's where we started seeing our little problem. And we're going to do that, link those off, and go into our, if everything's not upside down, recital effects. Again, we don't want to use our normal summon yet. Effect, special, effect, special, effect, add that, effect, play that. Alright. So then here is the part where you could do this instead. Link all those off and go into Promethean Princess effect. Bring that out. Effective Island, pop this. Add this, special this, effect of this. Arvada. In this case, since we are going to be going nuts here, Arvada effect to bring back the Ponix. And then from here we have plenty of bodies, plenty of materials. Use the fractal effect, banish 4, namely the Lyriluscs again. Go into your Shreg. Then you link those off. Go into your Vergite. We're gonna do our Omen effect, add whatever other Tri-brigade kit. If you already have a Tri-brigade in your hand, search out Caress so that if your opponent like has an interruption against you, you have an answer. So then we actually do want this in this column. We're gonna use its effect, special summon this. And then this would have to not be there, so actually we could leave this here, put this away. Use its effect, special. Use this effect. And then we would banish, so this would be a little bit of an impasse here. So we do want to leave a fire out for the Promethean Princess. Let's see here, what can we do that would be very optimal? I think Yeah, the destroying was the correct play for that. Yeah, so in this case, as awkward as it may seem, you could banish the omen with something else. Or you could use the fractal effect. Or no, you already used it, never mind. Yeah, so this is kind of a bit of a sticky situation here. What do we want to do here? We had to do the omen, so we couldn't just use those two for that. Actually, that probably would have made more sense. So here, let's back this up a bit. So before we even use Fractal's effects, we're gonna link those off first. Go into this, then we do this. That's what it is. Okay, that's where we went wrong. So why Tri-brigade is a very delicate deck. Effect of Omen, add this for fire-brigade, use effect, banish 2, double Dragon Lords, link off, 2 Mad Apple, double Mulligan. You might have expended the kit that you added, but then you still have plenty of other cards to use. And you'll get your Revolt, 2 negates, 1 removal, and then leaving kit on board, you give yourself Promethean Princess activation. So that's just some interesting lines. There are, of course, plenty more. So like I've explained with Swallow's Cowrie being such a good card for Lyrilusc engine, just because everything is level 1 and it's a quick play, being incredible too in that right. But it's something that I see as a potential budget option. It's just, of course, the problem being is that, as we know, this is a droll format, so people are going to be running their drolls, and that absolutely kills this variant. Which is why I would highly recommend running triple tactics, and even going so far as to say play cross-out designators just to make sure your combos get through. Run heavy, what do they call them? Power spells. Run power spells that clear board, like lightning storms and stuff. Main deck that. Give yourself some options on that. But, I don't know. Very interesting concept. It is a very cool build. I mean, I could take this deck, kind of shuffle it up, just show a random test hand of an incomplete non-40 card deck. This is like a 25 or something, but just to kind of show the miscellaneous combos and how to make it work. So, like, okay, bad card in hand, Swallow's Nest, Fractal, Swallow's Nest, Nerval. Alright, so that is playable though. So, here's what we do. We normal summon the Nerval. We activate the Swallow's Nest, sending the Nerval. And we're going to special summon the Cobalt Sparrow. From here, we do Nerval, Cobalt. Cobalt will add, let's go with the most logical thing would honestly be Sapphire Swallow this, add, in this case, we would go this. Now, very awkward, yes, but this isn't unplayable at all. You could use Swallow's Nest again, because this isn't a limited once per turn card. Tribute those off. Go into, where are you, Ponix? Ponix effect. Add this effect. play this. Activate effect. Destroy that. Do that effect. This one's effect. Bring this back out. Link those off. Go into fire-brigade. Use fire-brigade's effect. Special summon the other Tri-brigade that's in the hand here. And then if this wasn't revolt, then we could do the bear run, but in this case we have not quite enough here actually. A little awkward. But doesn't look like we have a way to really trip off the Lyrilusc and stuff yet. So what we could do here, we'll add this back at the next turn. Or no, it won't add back. So actually this is disposable. That's disposable, that's disposable. So the only other thing would, so then leave the Lyrilusc. Just cause, why not? So banish these 4. Go into your Omen. Link all 3 of these off into your Apple. Apple effect. Or, not Apple effect. We're gonna do Chainlink 1 app, or, God, I can't talk. Chainlink 1 fire-brigade, Chainlink 2 Omen. Omen will add free card. Let's add, I don't know, Tri-brigade kit. At this point, it's not really going to matter. Your combos are already done. And then this is our hand. Then we draw and put one back. Oh, look, Nerval. We can hold off on that. Set our revolt and pass turn. There you go. Cool. Random hand, random play. It was a pretty bad hand, but we still managed to get our combo through it. Again, this isn't with any hand traps or talents or anything like that, so imagine that kind of stuff mixed into there. But, yeah, very interesting build. Something I definitely want to expand upon, but it's a little bit of a concept in the making, working out ratios on it, seeing how things go, trying to figure out how to break boards with a deck like this. I think that's the only weakness to this deck. So we're probably going to be looking more at like power spells and main decking evenlies and things like that. But all in all, just a concept. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave some feedback. See if there's any sort of suggestions you guys have to make. But in the meantime, this is VZ Duo signing off. Thanks for watching, guys.